The ground trembles beneath the frozen stillness of Denali, a deep, pulsing rhythm that feels too measured to be natural. Snow shifts like breathing skin, and the air vibrates with a low hum that no one dares to name. When the instruments first registered the signal, Dr. Evelyn Cross thought it was a malfunction, but the numbers repeated. Perfect symmetry buried miles beneath the ice. The locals speak of a sound that calls through the ground, one that drives wolves to madness and silences birds mid-flight. Oh, tonight, as the aurora ripples like an open wound across the black sky, the team gathers at the edge of a fissure that shouldn't exist. Evelyn can't shake the feeling that they've uncovered something waiting. What kind of structure can survive untouched beneath ice older than civilization itself? And if it's still emitting power, who or what built it, and for what purpose? By morning, the storm has buried their equipment under a sheet of ice. The fissure is gone, sealed as if it never existed, yet the readings remain, growing stronger every hour. Evelyn refuses to leave the site, replaying the data in silence while the others exchange uneasy glances. Marcus demands evacuation protocol, but the air itself seems charged, magnetic, alive. Birds avoid the sky. Their compasses spin. When the hum returns, softer this time, it's not through the ground, it's inside their heads. Evelyn realizes it's a signal. And somewhere below them, something ancient has just heard their reply. They contact the command post, but transmissions distort into static. Every signal seems to bend back toward them. Jonah launches another drone, but it freezes midair, suspended, then drops dead to the snow. Nadia identifies carvings on fragments pulled from the fissure, not symbols, but a form of mathematical code. Evelyn studies them and realizes they match the pulse intervals. She begins to suspect the structure isn't transmitting, it's listening. Night falls again, and the hum grows rhythmic, synchronized with their heartbeats. The air pressure drops until their ears ring. Evelyn begins to dream of geometric light descending through ice. In the dreams, she sees a door opening, and something looking back. When she wakes, the instruments are running without power. The readings spell out coordinates pointing deeper under Denali. She whispers, "It's calling us." By the third night, the hum becomes part of the landscape. Even the silence hums. Marcus can't sleep. He patrols outside, convinced someone is watching. Nadia records whispers through the static, repeating their names. Jonah swears he saw lights beneath the ice moving in patterns, not random, but deliberate. Evelyn realizes what terrifies her most isn't that the structure was built by something not human. It's that it's been waiting for them to come back. Or the following day, the research team begins excavation, procedures under government orders to collect and classify any unusual formations. The frozen air carries an unnatural stillness, the kind that amplifies every movement. Evelyn works beside Nadia, carefully drilling into the ice where the fissure once was, their instruments now registering consistent rhythmic pulses, precisely 60 beats per minute. Marcus watches from a distance, maintaining contact with command through an encrypted line that crackles every few seconds. Jonah, still shaken from the drone's failure, sets up new equipment while avoiding the area's center. As the drills cut deeper, the vibration changes pitch, like a note adjusting itself. Evelyn pauses, listening. The hum isn't random, it's responding. By midday, the drill halts with a metallic thud. Beneath the frozen crust lies a solid surface, too smooth to be stone, too cold to be metal. Jonah's sensors detect magnetic interference, strong enough to disable nearby electronics. Nadia studies the fragments retrieved and notices microscopic carvings running along their edges, tiny, perfect triangles repeating endlessly. Evelyn suspects this isn't a natural geological layer, but an engineered foundation buried deliberately. The hum deepens again, pulsing faster now, like a heartbeat quickening. The team stands in silence as snow begins to fall soundlessly around them, and for the first time, Evelyn thinks she hears something behind the hum. A whisper. That night, they review seismic recordings and realize the pulse is no longer constant. It changes every few hours, forming sequences that resemble communication patterns. Marcus insists it's interference, but Evelyn disagrees. The data forms, repeating strings too precise for randomness. Nadia overlays the readings with ancient geometric codes, revealing alignment with known pyramid ratios. Jonah stares at the screen, whispering that it looks like it's learning. Outside, the wind howls, but beneath the noise, something deeper moves, a steady, deliberate rhythm, echoing through the tundra. Power outages begin striking the camp at random intervals. Every blackout is followed by the Hume's low resonance vibrating through the ground. Evelyn wakes from half-sleep to the sound of distant knocking. Measured, deliberate, and coming from below. Marcus orders everyone outside, thinking the drilling platform collapsed, but the structure stands untouched. Nadia notices steam rising from a section of the ice where their instruments had failed. As they gather, a sudden electromagnetic surge cuts their lights again. The hum grows deafening, and for an instant, the entire sky flashes blue. When the light fades, silence consumes the field. Every instrument shows zero activity. No signal, no hum, nothing. Yet, the air feels charged, alive with static. Evelyn lowers her head toward the ice and hears a new sound, a faint, slow rhythm, deeper than before, echoing like breathing. Marcus orders an immediate evacuation, but none of the vehicles will start. Nadia whispers that the structure's energy field has expanded. Jonah points toward the horizon, where an aurora forms again. Not in the sky this time, but under the ice. The team realizes the pyramid isn't just beneath them anymore. It's awakening all around them. At dawn, the temperature drops far below forecasted limits, freezing the camp's power lines. Evelyn stares at the ice where faint geometric outlines now stretch outward in symmetrical patterns. Marcus authorizes a limited excavation with military-grade thermal cutters, and Nadia insists on documenting every fragment. Jonah calibrates a new drone, equipped with analog wiring, unaffected by the electromagnetic field. When the first layer melts away, the smooth black surface beneath reveals something no one can explain. A doorway carved with precision beyond human engineering. The hum, silent all night, returns with a deeper tone that makes the snow vibrate. Evelyn steps closer and whispers, "It's hollow." The doorway opens with a low mechanical groan that doesn't echo. It absorbs sound instead. A warm current of air rises from within, carrying a metallic scent. The pyramid's interior temperature registers higher than the outside by 20 degrees. Impossible for something buried miles in permafrost. Evelyn sends Jonah's drone inside first. Its camera feed displays smooth walls, pulsating faintly with light. Nadia gasps as symbols begin glowing on the outer wall, reacting to their proximity. Marcus orders them to retreat, but the hum shifts frequency, and the door seals open as though inviting them in. Evelyn's voice shakes. "It knows we're here." Inside the pyramid, the air is heavy and warm, humming softly like a living organism. The walls curve in seamless geometry, each panel reflecting faint aurora-like waves. The deeper they move, the more distorted their radios become, until every transmission merges into a single rhythmic pulse. Jonah's drone light flickers, revealing a vast chamber ahead, a hollow space extending further than the camera's range. Nadia notices patterns along the floor, forming a map, or perhaps a message. Evelyn records everything, whispering her notes to steady her breath. Then the hum stops. Total silence. In that stillness, a sound echoes back. A single heartbeat, not human, but deep and resonant. Hours blur into a haze of echoing corridors and shifting light. Every direction seems to bend back toward the same chamber. Evelyn realizes they are walking in circles, but the compass spins endlessly. Nadia notices faint handprints embedded in the wall. human-sized, but older than any civilization could be. Marcus demands they turn back, but when they retrace their steps, the doorway has vanished. The pyramid is closed behind them. Jonah's drone picks up motion ahead, a flicker of something tall, shifting in the shadows. He increases brightness, and for a second they all see it, a shape standing upright, almost human, staring back. The figure moves, not walking, but facing, like a reflection through water. The temperature spikes. Frost evaporates instantly. Evelyn records everything as the walls begin to hum again. Their rhythm now synchronized with the team's heartbeats. Nadia collapses, overwhelmed by the frequency. Jonah's equipment shorts out. Marcus fires a warning shot, but the sound is absorbed, leaving only silence. The shape steps closer, its outline resolving into a figure made of light and geometry, transparent yet solid. Evelyn whispers through the recorder, "We've made contact." Then the hum stops and everything turns black. When the light fades, the team finds themselves standing in a vast chamber that hums with quiet vibration. Nadia regains consciousness, gasping as if she'd been underwater. The air feels dense, charged with static energy that hums through their bones. Evelyn kneels beside her, whispering that it's all right, though she doesn't believe it herself. Marcus checks his rifle, but the magazine is magnetized, useless. Jonah reboots the drone. Its sensors show readings fluctuating off the scale. In the walls, faint shapes move like liquid metal flowing behind glass. The hum shifts from sound to thought, an echo that seems to speak inside their minds. "We were not the first," Evelyn murmurs. "And we won't be the last." Nadia points to symbols emerging across the wall's surface, glowing like veins of light. They aren't random. They move in sequences, repeating patterns that form recognizable geometry. Evelyn captures every second, translating the shapes into frequency data. Jonah notices the hum aligning with his own heartbeat, sensing rhythmically. Marcus tries to break through on radio, but every channel broadcasts their own voices back, delayed by seconds. Then, one of the echoes speaks first, repeating Evelyn's words before she says them. The chamber reacts, lights intensifying, and the ground shifts beneath their feet as though the pyramid itself is breathing. The hum transforms into a low frequency that resonates inside their skulls, forming words they cannot fully comprehend. Evelyn hears fragments return, awaken source. Nadia collapses again, clutching her temples as the symbols shift faster. Jonah's monitors flicker, displaying sequences of numbers matching global coordinates. Marcus demands they leave, but every tunnel they entered from has disappeared, replaced by smooth, seamless walls. The air temperature rises sharply. Frost evaporates from the ground. Evelyn realizes the structure is converting energy, not drawing power, but producing it. The pyramid is alive and is feeding on their presence. Hours pass, or maybe minutes. Time bends inside the structure, every sound stretching and folding over itself. Evelyn finds herself standing in a smaller chamber she doesn't remember entering. Its walls covered in pulsating veins of light that move like living tissue. A holographic projection rises from the floor, showing Earth from space, then shifting to show hundreds of glowing points across the planet. Nadia realizes these are other pyramids, each one dormant. Jonah whispers that the network is reactivating. Marcus demands an exit, but the projection responds by showing their location, a flashing red core deep beneath Denali. And then a voice, deep and resonant, fills the room. Containment breached. The hum peaks to a violent frequency, shaking the walls until cracks of light tear through the chamber. Evelyn screams over the noise, shouting to shut everything down, but the systems are autonomous. Nadia's voice rises in terror as the symbols reconfigure into a pattern resembling DNA strands. Jonah's monitors show rapid temperature spikes. The pyramid is altering the atmosphere within. Marcus drags Nadia toward the doorway as Evelyn stares at the projection. The light intensifies until it burns white, and for one brief instant, she sees it. A massive structure far below them, beating like a heart beneath the earth. Then the chamber goes dark, and silence falls thicker than before. When Evelyn opens her eyes, the world is silent. The chamber is dark, lit only by faint lines of blue running through the floor. Jonah lies unconscious nearby, and Marcus steadies Nadia, whose pulse races wildly. Their equipment is fried. No power, no sound, not even their own echoes return. Evelyn moves toward the wall and places her hand on its surface. The instant her skin makes contact, a rush of images floods her mind. Stars, oceans, and structures rising from molten ground. She sees civilizations rise and collapse, their echoes recorded within this machine. Then a voice, calm and vast, speaks directly to her thoughts. "We remember you." She stumbles back, gasping, realizing it's not speaking English. It's translating itself for her. Evelyn's mind floods with alien memories, not images but sensations. The cold weight of time, the crushing silence of deep space. The entity reveals flashes of what it calls the first builders, a race that shaped energy and matter like clay, leaving behind monuments as warnings, not relics. Nadia whispers that it's showing Evelyn something meant for humanity to forget. Marcus refuses to believe what he's hearing, insisting this is a psychological reaction, a hallucination caused by electromagnetic exposure. But the pyramid answers him with a surge of light, forming into a humanoid figure. Its shape is identical to Evelyn's, same height, same outline, watching her silently as if studying its own creation. The figure begins to speak without sound, its voice echoing inside their minds. It tells Evelyn that humanity is a continuation, not an accident, that their genetic code carries fragments of a design older than history itself. The pyramids, it says, are not monuments but regulators meant to sustain planetary balance. Something has disturbed that order. The Alaskan pyramid was never meant to awaken first. Nadia scribbles the translation in her notebook, her hands shaking uncontrollably. Jonah murmurs that the readings are off the scale, radiation levels beyond safety. Evelyn steps closer, asking what it means by balance. The light flickers, and the entity replies with a single phrase that chills the air. "We repair what you destroy." The chamber vibrates violently as the light expands outward, covering the walls in cascading symbols. Nadia screams that the pyramid is transmitting again. Not a signal, but a call. Jonah's monitor displays other coordinates flickering across the globe. Evelyn realizes it's activating the network. Marcus tries to pull her away, but the entity reaches forward, touching her forehead. For an instant, the world dissolves. She sees flashes of deserts, oceans, jungles, all with identical pyramids awakening one by one. She hears whispers from thousands of voices calling her name, asking her to remember. Then she gasps as her vision returns, blood running from her nose. The entity stands motionless now, fading like mist. Silence returns, broken only by Evelyn's shallow breaths. The entity vanishes, leaving behind faint symbols still glowing on the walls. Jonah mutters that all systems are dead. No heat, no signal, not even stat. Marcus helps Nadia to her feet, her eyes distant, whispering fragments of phrases in another language. Evelyn wipes the blood from her face and looks toward the core, which now pulses faintly like a heartbeat. She realizes something fundamental has changed, not just in the pyramid, but in her. When she places her hand on the wall again, it doesn't resist. The hum returns softly, steady, and alive. The structure isn't just responding to them anymore, it's listening through her. 3 days later, a rescue convoy finally reaches the outer camp, or what's left of it. Communication with the base has been silent since the surge. Commander Elias Ward, arrives by helicopter under heavy snow, leading a classified retrieval team. He's seen things like this before. The moment he enters the frozen excavation site, the instruments spike again. Readings identical to those found in Egypt, Antarctica, and beneath the Pacific Trench. Inside the pyramid, Evelyn and her team are alive but changed. Their eyes glow faintly under certain light. Ward recognizes it instantly. Residual resonance exposure. "It's begun again," he mutters. He orders the team to seal off the site, but the hum beneath the ice returns, deeper and stronger than ever. Inside the command tent, Ward lays out classified documents dated decades before Evelyn's research began. Photos show identical energy readings detected in remote regions worldwide, pyramids buried deep underground, each emitting faint electromagnetic pulses. The Alaskan one, however, is unique. Its signal predates recorded data. Nadia stares at a photograph labeled Project Sentinel and recognizes the same geometric code from the pyramid walls. Marcus demands to know how long the government has known. Ward's answer is simple and cold. Since 1949, Evelyn realizes they were never sent here to discover anything. They were sent to confirm something the world was never meant to know. Ward explains that the pyramids were never built. They were discovered, buried beneath tectonic layers long before humans walked the Earth. Each one emits a frequency designed to maintain planetary equilibrium, but one by one they've begun reactivating, responding to something or someone beyond Earth. Evelyn listens in silence, her thoughts drifting back to the entity's words. "We repair what you destroy." She realizes that the Alaskan pyramid isn't malfunctioning. It's awakening because the planet itself is out of balance. The hum beneath their feet grows louder, vibrating through the tent poles. Jonah glances at his camera feed and freezes. The ground beneath the site is shifting. Outside, the snow begins to melt in circular patterns radiating from the fissure. The ground breathes, expanding and contracting like lungs. Ward orders evacuation, but Evelyn steps forward, insisting the pyramid is communicating. Nadia deciphers the glowing carvings reappearing across the ice, translating fragments that read, "Signal acknowledged. Restoration sequence initiated." Jonah's camera captures the horizon flashing in pulses identical to the hum beneath their feet. Marcus shouts for everyone to move back, but the light bursts upward, forming a massive column of energy reaching into the clouds. Ward shields his face as the frequency peaks, and for a brief instant, they all hear voices, countless, layered, repeating Evelyn's name. The light fades, leaving silence so heavy it feels like the world stopped. The snowfield is scorched into glass. The pyramid's hum ceases entirely. Evelyn kneels trembling as the warmth under the ground vanishes. Ward's radio crackles with faint static, voices speaking in untraceable frequencies, forming words that translate only as phase one complete. Marcus looks at Evelyn, realizing she's no longer the same. Her pupils flicker faintly with light. Nadia whispers that whatever they awakened didn't just respond, it connected. Ward issues an order to seal the site indefinitely, but Evelyn doesn't move. She stares at the horizon where the beam once stood and whispers, "It's not over." This was only one heartbeat. 2 weeks later, the Alaskan site is sealed beneath layers of military quarantine. Official reports claim the team perished during an avalanche, though fragments of encrypted transmissions tell another story. Evelyn sits isolated in a debriefing facility under constant observation. She hasn't spoken since her return, except to mutter coordinates the analysts can't decode. Ward files his report quietly, noting the faint luminescence in her eyes that no medical scan can explain. Across the globe, dormant seismic networks begin detecting identical low-frequency hums beneath multiple continents. Ward knows what it means, but his silence is absolute. The pyramid isn't dead, it's calling to others. Evelyn dreams in fragments now. Endless tunnels of light, symbols pulsing like neurons, and a deep voice whispering through static. Each time she wakes, the pattern of her heartbeat matches the hum recorded beneath Denali. Ward's analysts analyze the recovered footage frame by frame. Every sequence ends in distortion except one. 6 seconds of clear audio where a voice whispers her name followed by, "We continue." Jonah's camera survived the blast. Its memory holds data the system cannot decrypt. Nadia, still in recovery, sketches geometric maps in her sleep that match satellite readings across the Pacific. Every signal points to activation, and it's spreading fast. A week later, new anomalies appear. Oceans warming in geometric patterns, sandstorms forming in triangular rotations, and faint vibrations recorded beneath major cities. The Pentagon calls it coincidence. Ward calls it synchronization. Evelyn is transferred to a deep underground facility for containment, though she insists she can still hear the voice, not from outside, but within her mind. The entity no longer needs the pyramid to speak. It's inside her now, a conduit to something vast. Marcus resigns from active duty, warning Ward that if one awakens, all will follow. But Ward already knows. The others have begun to hum. At midnight, power surges ripple through the facility. Every system flickers, and for the first time since the event, Evelyn speaks. Her voice is layered, multiple tones, as if more than one consciousness speaks through her. "They are waking," she says, staring straight into the surveillance camera. "The heartbeat is not ours." Ward orders immediate lockdown, but it's too late. The ground shudders as alarms blare, and all magnetic locks disengage simultaneously. The lights cut out, replaced by a low, familiar hum. From beneath the facility, the vibration returns, echoing through metal floors like a pulse of the earth itself. The last recorded footage from the Denali site surfaces weeks later, retrieved from Jonah's damaged camera. The video shows the final seconds before the power surge. Evelyn standing before the pyramid whispering, "We were never alone." Then static, followed by a single frame of light forming a human silhouette, vast and radiant. Investigators marked the footage as inconclusive, but unofficially, Ward knows the truth. The hum beneath Denali has never stopped. Satellite scans show faint energy lines connecting every continent, pulsing in perfect unison. The Earth itself now beats with a second heartbeat, one that isn't human, and one that has just begun to wake.